What's up, guys? This is Ty Zen. In this video, guys, I'm standing here in front of one of the biggest libraries and the most impressive, elegant, and most luxurious libraries in the world, okay? I'll bet you if the people from Babylon back in the days can see this library today, they would probably shit in their pants, okay? Because this library is extremely impressive. Right behind me is the New York Public Library, and in my opinion, it is probably the biggest, most lavish and luxurious and most elegant library that we have in America, okay? So enough about the library. The reason why I'm making about this video, guys, is that I was passing this library as I was walking and bebopping along around Bryant Park, which is on the other side of the library, and something dawned on me about the Bitcoin and the blockchain and the cryptocurrency technology that we have today. One of the most revolutionary inventions ever in the history of humanity, the history of finances, and in the world period is the invention of the public ledger, and the technical name for that is the blockchain, and otherwise known as Bitcoin. We have lots of people right now in the news in 2016 and towards the end of 2015 and starting in the spring of 2016 as I'm making this video. There is a shift from calling it the Bitcoin technology into calling it the blockchain technology. And there's nothing wrong with that, but you know, when Satoshi Nakamoto invented Bitcoin, he originally called it Bitcoin and the blockchain, but there's so much negative press about Bitcoin that they don't want to draw attention to it. So everybody now, including Circle, is using the term blockchain or public ledger. You know, this blockchain, the banks are doing private blockchains this, other companies doing blockchain that. Now, I'm not one of those people that likes to take credit away from where it is. So no matter what they try to call it, it's still Bitcoin, okay? So what I wanted to share with you guys in this video is that what makes Bitcoin and the blockchain and the public ledger technology so revolutionary. If you guys take a look back, right? I'm gonna go back in history, and I'm not a historian or anything. I'm just an early adopter and investor of cryptocurrencies. So if I'm wrong on any of this stuff, don't panic, guys. You guys don't have to leave 1,000 comments in the comment sections, okay? I always quote people wrong and get my data wrong, but once I find out it's wrong, I always correct it. So that's the good news, okay? So I don't have like photographic memory like some of my friends do. So you guys gotta help work with me here, okay? One of the key inventions, if you guys go back in history and you look at the history of the Chinese history and the Egyptian history, right? Those were the two most powerful civilizations on the planet during that time, okay? One of the reasons why now I read in the history book somewhere when I started studying history, Chinese history, one of the things that some scholars said, that I can't remember what book or what the name of the scholar was, he said that one of the key inventions that the Chinese had that allowed them, their civilization and their nation and their country to survive much longer than the Egyptian civilization and not go extinct, one of the key components and one of the key factors was the writing system. The Chinese writing system, right, when the Chinese and the Egyptians first started their writing systems, they both had what's called a pictogram, which means a picture, and a gram, which means a picture, right? So they drew a picture, like if they wanted to come up with the word for a man or a woman, they would draw a stick figure of a man or a woman. If they wanted to come up with a picture of a dog or a cat, they would draw like a cartoon picture of a dog or a cat. And in both civilizations, when you look at the pictures that they drew, you can easily tell what the pictures represented. So it was very easy for one. The reason why the invention of writing was so important was because it allowed the ability of one generation to learn something and then pass that knowledge on to the next generation. Keep in mind, guys, the average human lifespan today for a male is around 77 years old, 78 years old, and for a female, it's like, I think 83 or 86 years old, right? Because women don't have to stress out as much as us guys do, all right? So one of the things that allowed, you know, the Chinese civilization to live and survive for as long was because every time a new word had to be invented, when they started running out of pictograms or pictograms to depict of what happens to objects in real life, right? They started to take pictures and put them together to represent ideas or abstract ideas. Now, the problem with the Egyptians was that this one scholar that I was reading, now keep in mind, guys, I'm not his writing or a language scholar, okay? But one of the books I read, the scholar mentioned that one of the key components was that the Chinese figured out a way that when you come up with a new word or new idea, their writing system, they had a methodology. There was two scholars in China that came up with a methodology that every time there's a new word that came out in the world, a new scientific discovery or a new word had to be created to represent an idea or an object. They had a mechanism or a method to create this new word, whereas the Egyptians did not invent a way to create new words for new things that came out, new technologies and things like that. So because of that, they were not able to easily transmit their knowledge to the next generation. Now, I don't know if this was 100% true or not, guys, but it makes sense to me that if you don't have the ability to transfer your knowledge to the next generation, your civilization or your people are not going to last very long. And especially when back then, when the average lifespan of a man was around 32, 33 years old, you didn't have a lot of time to accumulate knowledge, and you didn't have a lot of time to pass it on. You had to do shit really quick, get it done, and then hopefully you pass it on to your son or your kids or the next generation, okay? So without a good writing system, it was very hard to transmit the knowledge of someone that was very intelligent to another human being, okay? So the invention of writing by the ancient civilizations like the Chinese and the Egyptians is a key component to allowing them to move forward with their technology and their science and their culture and the knowledge and the experiences they had. The second key invention that came along, okay, was when Gutenberg invented the Gutenberg press, okay? He invented a way to, back then, there was all kinds of ways to print a book, but it was not mass production. They pretty much had to print one book at a time. So back in the old days, hundreds and thousands of years ago, there was a high value placed on books, okay? But when Gutenberg came along, the printing press that he had invented was very revolutionary because it allowed you to print a large number of books very, very cheaply. So that was the second wave of innovation that came along that just revolutionized how people were educated, and it took our technology, and that's when like the Renaissance and all that other stuff started back in Europe, because for the first time they could easily manufacture, record, and produce and manufacture very low cost books to share their knowledge with the next generation, okay? Let me check the recording here. All right, so now the next thing, guys, the next key invention that came out after the writing was created and then the printing press was invented at large, mass production was invented by Gutenberg. The third key invention that I believe that completely revolutionized the world was when the internet was invented. Now, everybody in our history books, it says that Al Gore invented the internet. I don't know how true that is, okay, but that's what they teach here in the American history books. So if they put it in writing, it must be true. I don't know. But anyway, when the internet was invented, by Tim Berners-Lee from MIT, okay, one of the key inventions that happened was it allowed the really, really cheap and low cost distribution of knowledge. You can quickly copy and paste something and then send it across to the world to somebody else in an email or by electronic, okay? So those three key inventions right there, guys, the invention of writing, the invention of the Gutenberg press to produce large numbers of books, and then the invention of the internet, whether you believe it was by Al Gore or by Tim Berners-Lee, that's up to you, okay? But anyway, those are the three inventions that revolutionized the world. Now, the fourth invention that I believe is going to that is even more important than all the other three inventions combined, in my opinion, okay, is the invention of the public ledger technology, also known as the blockchain technology, also known as the Bitcoin technology, okay, or the Bitcoin currency. Right now it's being used as a currency mostly, known as Bitcoin, but the invention of the Bitcoin technology is not, I don't even know if it's called advanced technology or revolutionary technology or evolutionary technology. It is even beyond all of that combined, because it is the first time in human history where the majority of the people can, from all over the world, the universe, can agree on a piece of data that is going to be written into a history, into a ledger that is kept for history and can never be erased and can never be changed unless it's agreed upon by the vast majority. Okay, now right now, right, as we're speaking, that's how it's supposed to work. It's not 100% like that, because the processing of what goes into the ledger is being all centralized in the hands of a few Chinese miners in China. But I figure, I'm confident that the Bitcoin community and the technology itself sooner or later will figure out how to decentralize that Bitcoin mining. Okay, so I want to share this video with you guys today with the New York Public Library, one of the biggest libraries in the world, right here behind me. Because a long time ago, guys, the books and the printing of these books were a key invention that changed the world. And I believe today the invention of Bitcoin, the blockchain technology, the public ledger technology is by far the most innovative invention that has ever been built in human history, right? To spread knowledge and record knowledge accurately. And I am grateful that I am living during this time while Satoshi Nakamoto is alive, while this invention started, and I can profit from it and I can benefit from it. I hope that you guys take advantage of this, guys, and really capitalize on this new technology that's come out. Do not be one of those idiots and one of those people that, 10 years later, the Bitcoin technology is pervasive and it's in everybody's households, everybody's using it, and you're wondering why you did not profit from it. Okay, so if you like this video, guys, give me a thumbs up. If you guys don't like this video, give me a thumbs down so I don't waste time making it. I just wanted to share this video with you guys in case you're on the fence whether or not how revolutionary this Bitcoin technology is, guys. All right, thanks for watching this video. And if you have friends or family or anybody like that that's in doubt as to how innovative and how revolutionary and evolutionary and transformational this Bitcoin public ledger technology is, please share this video with them, and I'll see you guys in the next video.